Greetings.
Big up yourself, Empress. How are
I'm
you?
good, thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. So lovely to meet your acquaintance and to get to know you, to reason with you today. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Same to you. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to talk to you because your voice is just so beautiful. You're such a songstress. You write as well. You're a model. It's such a great thing to see a woman as myself who wears many hats, who has many talents, and being that it's International Women's Month, I love to feature an empress like you doing big things. And you're in the UK, so it's a special time today, 3 p.m. Typically my show's 8 p.m., but I obviously want to accommodate you. I don't want you up late at night or anything like that.
Oh no, it's fine. Honestly, I was waiting for the 8 p.m. because I was still tucking into my food and getting my daughter sorted, but that's fine. It's just the
Yes,
timings. I know the time difference, obviously, but yeah,
yes. You have a
I
beautiful
can see all
daughter.
the
Is she the one
comments.
featured in your music videos?
She is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
she's
so
quite the star.
yeah, I'm blessed. She is. She is a little star.
I love that. I love to see when the young queens get involved in these sort of artistic adventures and can also show their talent and shine as well. I also have a daughter, so I wish she would
Oh,
shine
nice.
on over here, but she doesn't. She's not interested in reggae music too much. I believe it or not. She listens to
Okay.
K-pop and stuff like that. So I don't know.
All right. Fair enough. That's all good.
But we're here to talk about you today, so let's get right into it. For everyone who's tuned in on the radio, because we are live as well on rootsreggaehub.com. 228 countries tuning in on the radio side of things. But I do tell people to come over and join us on Instagram to see the video portion. So for everyone listening and for everyone watching, please tell them who Empress Imani is in your own words.
I just probably say singer-songwriter. I'm a culture artist at heart, so an empress that's got a rootsy cultural vibration. Um, and I'm an island girl, born in the UK but grew up in the islands, so the Caribbean flavor is definitely there. So yeah, that's me.
Yes, Caribbean flavor, I can tell. Definitely. And how was, your childhood growing up? I like to talk about the roots and foundations, the family life, like what makes you the woman you are today. And typically that starts off with your upbringing. How was that for you?
Yeah. So my upbringing was quite rugged, to be fair. Um, I speak a little bit about it in the music recently and a song called Rocky Road. I think that it's important to be transparent about parts of your journey, which I'm learning to do a little bit more. Um, so yeah, I was actually fostered and adopted, um, grew up in the islands, but we're talking one pair of slippers and boathouse and cook outside and roast breadfruits. um, yeah, one bag of clothes and pretty rough. Um, but that taught me a lot, helped to mold me into the person that I am, the character traits that I have, how to survive with very little, how to be tedious about your goals, how to be ambitious and remain positive regardless of the obstacles. So, yeah, my childhood was quite rough, but the blessings came later on. So we give thanks for that. That's what I'd say. Mm.
Wow, thanks for sharing that. And on your Instagram, you did mention you went through the fire, but you came out on the other side. So,
Yeah.
I did see that. So I figured, you've been through some things in your life that have obviously changed you in some way, and you grew strength through it. I mean, without the struggles, we can't find strength within ourselves.
Definitely. Yeah,
And thank you for your
that's
bravery
true.
and for sharing that with the world. That was definitely a journey for you, and you obviously at some point got inspired into becoming an artist and being, reggae music, and it could be a cultural thing as well. And maybe you felt somewhere in your heart that this was what, you were meant to do. tell me what your musical mission is and when you were inspired to start singing.
My musical mission is probably just to stay organic and true to myself. I think that a lot of the time, the negativity in the music gets pushed more than the positive vibration. So definitely to put out that sort of frequency. My sort of love for culture music began when I was in the Caribbean. I'm inspired by artists like Queen Africa. I remember hearing Lioness on the Rise for the first time, and I was in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I was like, "Who is this artist?" And I remember buying her CD from like a street vendor. I probably still got it actually, and her album, and listening to her. And I just grew up around the culture vibe. So your Gregory Isaac coming to the islands to do the big shows in the park, and it was such a vibe. Jack Cure, Remain Virgo and all those guys. So I was drawn to it and had an affinity to it. And I remember hearing a Caribbean rhythm and me writing like my first little reggae tune on it. And I think from then, that's where I started to find my sound and what fits right with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that you talk about, some people that have inspired you. Queen Amita, she's amazing. And a lot of Jakir, of course. I saw you do a cover of his song as well on YouTube, which is beautiful. All the covers you do are beautiful. Also the Andrew Day cover that you sang in your own, in your own unique way. I love that cover as well. Everybody go check out Empress Imani on her YouTube channel. We'll be talking about her latest music video coming up very soon. Yeah, I love that you were inspired by people. What do you want people to feel as well when they hear your music, when they hear your voice?
To feel.
What emotion do you want to bring up in people?
I think it depends on the concept of the song. Because if you're singing something that's emotional, nostalgic, you're going to want to invoke those feelings in the vibration of the song. So I think it depends. Music is a frequency. If the song is upbeat and full of vibes, then we want you to feel joy, So I think it definitely depends. Yeah. I think it depends on the vibration and the frequency of the music. But regardless, I want the person to feel authenticity and feel a connection. That's what I'd say.
Yes. And you do come across very authentic, very unique as well in your delivery and in your music videos, and you feel like I know you almost, but just from watching your videos, I feel like I've known you for some time, but this is our first time reasoning. So, and also my mother loves you as well. My mom was like, "You ever see Empress Imani?" I was like, "What?" And she's amazing, my mom. And
that's nice. Big up mommy. One time, 2 times.
She's a big part of the Roots Where You Have journey here, and without her, a lot wouldn't be where we are today. Like the mother of the station, so to speak. And she's like, "Empress Imani, you got to find her. You got to contact her." I was like,
"Oh gosh, that's so sweet of her." Yeah. That's nice.
Let's talk about what's good for the goose. I was playing that track in the intro for some of the listeners and the viewers here on Instagram. Tell me about the concept for the song. Where did the idea spark from, and the production?
Okay, well, I'll probably start with saying, in regards to that song, I've always had that line, and I always wanted to put it in a song. And I believe in like fairness. You say what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. So what's good for one is also good for another, and sometimes we don't live by that concept. So what happened was I was listening to some instrumentals, some rhythms, and I heard General Key rhythm by Oneness Records. Now, Prince Malachi and Queen Africa have a song on it as well, yeah? But I heard the rhythm, and I'm at home like, hold up. Everything had to stop. So I was like, I'm going to write this. So I sang the chorus, Good for the Goose, and then it fit perfect, but I couldn't get the verses. And I remember it took me about 2 weeks and I was just washing up. And then the gloves came off and I just started singing the verse. So again, I had to stop everything and I just started to write. And then the song just came to me, literally washing up 2 weeks later. And then I put the track together. Um, Diamond Cut Productions helped me with the production on that one. And we did a video for it. My daughter was also in that video. She's a lot younger in that one. Put the concept together. And yeah, it all worked out.
Yeah.
How do you like that one?
It's a beautiful video. I love your daughter featured in it. And you know, it has some lyrics. It has some messages in the song and some things that, you know, people can learn from. I do want to talk a little bit about those messages. Let's talk a little bit about karma and, you know, what your thoughts on that are, you know, what goes around comes around.
Okay.
Do you believe in karma at all?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that there's certain unwritten laws of the universe that you cannot bypass, can't go wrong, you know? Some things are just inevitable. So I definitely believe in karma. But I feel like karma, she gets a bad rap. I think a lot of the time people look at it as something that's purely negative. You know, we think about karma and we think about something negative a lot of the time, but it's positive energy as well. So what you are putting out there, you must get it back. But that doesn't mean that it's just negative. Positive energy, it all comes back around, the negative as well. So we have to watch what it is that we are putting out there. You know, we talk about words, power, speech. There's a reason why we call spelling, because we say certain things and it's almost like we forget that we cast spells on ourselves. And I definitely believe in what you put out there, you know, you get back. And it happened to me recently and I lost a little bit of money and boy, I was so upset. But it wasn't even just about the money, it was the principle, because it was to do with, you know, in customer service and you're having a bad experience. And I was like, you know what, let it go. And hear what, it's all gonna come back to you. And the way I was blessed up that week, sis, by people that I do not even know, people that I've not even met. And I got back and reaped back every single thing that I lost, plus more, and the good energy and the good vibes with it. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about karma. Yeah.
Wow. That's an interesting story. And yeah, I do believe karma's a woman, you know. Some people are like karma's a woman.
Come on now.
Or at least the energy, you know, the frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that.
And I do believe in divine laws and you know, and divine inspiration, which it sounds like, you know, this song and the lyrics were birthed from divine inspiration as well. Yeah, I definitely encourage all of our listeners to go and check out the music video. And yeah, I'm a true believer in karma as well. And like you said, you know, it has a bad rap, but you know, if you're giving out the good stuff, I think you're all right.
Come back to me.
Yeah. Let's talk about inspiration. I mean, you talked about some of the people that inspire you, but are there any things in life that you've been through that have inspired you, maybe to go a certain way or go a certain route or to be a certain type of woman today?
I was gonna say my child, but obviously that's top of the list.
Yes.
But I think I started this journey before being a mom, so I probably say it's in the bloodline. My daddy is Rasta. He's not with us now, but I think how you're raised and what you're around plays a big part. And I feel like sometimes certain things you're just destined for. So in terms of who I wanted to be and tapping into Afrocentricity and the whole cultural element of who we are as a people, I think maybe that came from elements of what my dad exposed me to and taught me. My mum as well, interestingly enough, we've had a journey where our paths were split for years and then we reconnected. But then she says to me that at my age, she was just like me. So she used to do like a little bit of singing, and there's pictures with her in the Rasta hat with the guitar. And I do poetry as well, and my mum used to write poetry as well. And then she used to eat ITEL food. I was like, you, who likes your lamb cuts? But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, so I believe that's in the bloodline. Things that have inspired me along the way, probably just being around other powerful females. I think that the lioness energy is prevalent at the moment, is rising. When I see that, and that's inspiring to me, because I feel like we don't understand how powerful we are. And when you tap into that magic, it can really make an impact. So I'd probably say that. And when I did live in the islands and struggling to find places to stay or to make ends meet, again, there was a Rasta lady that embraced me and took me in and treated me like her own. And pumpkin rice, and that's where I learned about the Rastaman chunks and and Capleton. She taught me about Capleton and all the fireman vibes.
Yes.
So that is, I think Rasta is a big part of inspiring my journey. So yeah.
Yes. I truly believe Rasta can fly. One of my favorite hashtags, Rasta can fly. And it is
Yeah.
a feminine era, the age of Aquarius, and the feminine energy is on the
Yeah.
rise. Lionesses are doing amazing things around the world, and yeah, you can't stop the forward movements of the empresses nowadays. So big up all the
Absolutely.
empress
All
tuning
the
in.
emphasis them. Yes. And yourself included, sis.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you so
it's
much.
a must.
Next, I would love to talk about with you creative process. I mean, do you go both ways? I know you write as well. So sometimes you sit down with a pen and you try to formulate a lyric or a melody or some sort comes into your head. Or does someone send you a rhythm and then it inspires a lyric? What's your typical creative process, and does it differ from song to song?
Yeah, I would say that it does differ, but normally for me, I do need to tap into a frequency. So someone might send me something like a rhythm to listen to, or I'll just be listening to something, because many times I'll just kind of run certain vibrations. I'll run the music and see if I feel anything off of it. And it's like I normally know like instantly, probably within the first couple of seconds. So I do normally need to tap into the vibration of the music before I start writing. I feel like as well I was talking about frequency. So sometimes I can listen to it and know that the song is an emotional vibration, or if it's something that's, we were talking about joyous, if it's an upful vibration, and then I'll start coming up with sort of words, concepts, my hook. I normally write my hook first, and then I build the rest of the song around my hook. So that's how I write. Very rarely I write without the music, but I have done that a few times, but not often. Yeah.
I love hearing the differences in creative processes when it comes to the creations of a song or the creating process of a song. It really intrigues me to hear the different ways that people are inspired or how they come up with lyrics. I'm not a songwriter, but I'm a writer in general.
Okay, nice.
So it's similar
Yeah.
in music. But I love that you said the rhythm and the hertz or the frequency of the song will, like, that is an energetic thing. And people don't even realize how important it is, the hertz and the music that you're taking in, how that can
So
alter your
important.
molecules, like on a molecular level.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
Yeah,
was
like
just
it can
about to say.
change your mood. It can bring you up, or it can really bring you down. So it's so
Yeah,
important about the
I
music
agree.
that you're listening to and what you're feeding, your soul, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree. That's
That's why I
definitely
love your
true.
music.
Oh, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Such a positive light you are in the world. Tell me, I love to talk about your spiritual journey or spiritual journeys of people, how they've evolved spiritually. And I would love to, hear maybe a lesson that you learned along the way, your own personal spiritual journey that might have changed your perspective on life and liberty.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Ooh. What I would say, I'm probably gonna say, um, it's just going back to what you were what we were talking about, destiny. I think, we're all sent here for a certain sole purpose. It's discovering that and figuring out, what that is. And I spoke a little bit about being in a house fire when I was younger. So I nearly died in a house fire, was written off as, the doctor's reports didn't think that I'd pulled through. I wasn't breathing on my own, etc. But I feel like it almost like a spirit rejuvenated me physically, almost like a new lease of life. I can't explain it, but I feel like that spirit is in me and it's here on a journey and has a destiny to fulfill. So sometimes it's like you can't really fight against it because if it's written for you, then it's written for you to fulfill. So in terms of my spiritual journey, for me, it's quite deep because it's almost like a second chance at life as well. If you know, when you have the feeling of someone writing you off and you realize there's a difference between you not breathing to you then taking a new breath of life, yeah, go waste that, you know? So there's that. And then I'd probably say um, understanding how deep it is to be a mother and understand that we are the gatekeepers. It's not for the faint-hearted. Um, they're not accessories. We're creating a legacy. We're continuing a bloodline. So that made me think about what I put out there, what messages, what I'm representing as a woman, and setting the pace for my little one because she's then going to continue the bloodline. So it's deep. So when we look at spirituality as a whole and tapping into who you really are, and that's something that over the years has been so imperative for me. And yeah, I think everything that we want in life is on the other side of fear. So for me, I've learned to try and step outside of that, and that nothing grows in your comfort zone. So with those elements, that's what sort of helped me on my journey to stay grounded and focused. Yeah.
Near-death experiences, it sounds like you're encompassing the phoenix in a way, a representation of the phoenix, that you're birthed out of the ashes, so to speak,
I
and
do
got it.
I do love that
Yeah,
that phrase. I do say that. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
a new lease on life. Those sort of experiences definitely change you and give you a deeper understanding of that you're here on purpose for a purpose, like you mentioned. And yeah, that's a remarkable story that you were able to come through that and have it affect you in a positive way and in a motivational way as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story. And also, I agree with the legacy and the passing on of our. I do believe our legacy is our bloodline, and the life that we bring into this world is the way we live on,
Mhm.
and our ancestors
Yeah,
live on. Yeah, so it's
absolutely. Yeah.
very deep. What did 2022 teach you? A lot of life lessons learned that we've already kind of spoken about, but was there something specific that maybe to 2020 to 2022, a lot of us went through some hardships, maybe even lost people during that time. What did the past year teach you, and what lessons will you be forwarding into the future?
Ooh. So we're talking like during COVID time sort of
Yeah, I
thing.
try not to say it at all, but
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Is it gonna flag me now?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
During those, I'd probably say, um, for me, during that time, I know that everybody was trying to find different avenues in terms of expressing their art. Um, so for me, that was a bit of an eye opener, trying to spread the music and do things differently as a creative. I think I learned that if you can do something to empower yourself and expand upon your skill set, then that's definitely something beneficial. So I think in a positive way, a lot of that came out of that era in terms of the creative people and artists who are trying to get themselves out there to their audiences and spread their light in a more creative way, regardless of the obstacles and the tribulations that we face. So I learned that. And I'd probably say, just touching again on what I said about stepping outside of your comfort zone, because nothing truly grows there. So for me, I can be a little bit apprehensive sometimes, and I'm learning to step outside of the box a little bit more. Um, so yeah, I'll probably say that's what I learned in 2022.
Yes, we were definitely all forced to do things differently. That is for sure.
We
Um,
were forced.
especially artists, creatives. Yeah, we're sort of pushed out of the box, so to speak, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's adapting to change, I guess. Yeah. Mhm.
Tell me about your goals for 2023. Do you have one specific goal that you can share with us, maybe for yourself for this year that you're envisioning?
Ooh, I don't know. I might not share that one. I'm just going to keep it simple and just say evolution. And pushing myself to sort of evolve and level up. I'm always wanting to try and level up. Um, so I'll probably say that and just be a little bit more consistent. So I've definitely got some projects on the way. So yeah. Mm.
Exciting. I love that goal. Evolution. I mean, that's, if you're not learning, you're not growing, you're not living, I like to say. So evolving is a whole part of that, is a part of learning, and expanding and reaching, new heights. So yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
excited to see what you have
Yeah,
in
new
store,
heights.
Empress.
Like that.
Let's talk about Sugar Water. It's a serious, important message here to discuss. Concept, production, music video. What do you want people to know?
Ooh. Well, that one I had in the music vault for a long time. And again, I came up with the name, and I just knew I came up with the name and the concept before any of it was fully molded. Um, in the Caribbean, when you don't have anything to make juice or, you have next to nothing, and you feel like you want a little sweet drink, that's the sugar in the water and you mix it and that's your juice. So it's about making something out of nothing, being creative with what you have. And also for me, it was acknowledging where I'm coming from, because that's something I won't forget. But I feel like it's part of my journey as well to be a bit more honest about that. A lot of people, they see the pretty up and the nice up, and they don't realize a lot of the time where people are coming from. So I wanted that to be conveyed. And also, because I'm ready to start putting out some new projects and get some new music out there, it's almost like I wanted that one just to set and lay the foundation, um, to say like, this is my foundation, this is where I'm coming from. So I know it's quite a deep song. I struggled with deciding, oh, I'm going to put this out, and certain lyrics I'm speaking about domestic violence and several things. So, but I decided to obviously put it out in the end, and I'm happy with it. So that's me stepping outside of my comfort zone. And in the river as well, because we got in the river. There was a whole scene with the river bank,
It
and
looked
yeah, it got muddy,
beautiful though.
but it's all good. So yeah.
Yeah. I like the river. I like the metaphorical choice of bathing in the river and washing off,
Water and
you know.
washing off the crosses, and you
Yeah.
know, water represents rebirth and all of that. But then it's still rocky sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
You get it. I know you get
I
it.
get it. I'm like, well, this Empress is deep. Look at the visual. I'm like, okay, and you know, the
Creative
message.
director, me, by the way. But obviously I had some help from a great team, and it came together in me, and I was very happy with it.
And such an important message as well for anyone that's going through any type of domestic violence. Um, you know, to be able to get away and to, you know, be able to take control. And where you come from does not necessarily mean where you're going, and what you've been through changes you, and it can make you also be able to share that story to help other people. And I feel like that song is one of them, that people need to hear and has an important message. So thank you for having the, you know, the strength and the whereabouts to be able to put that out there and to be able to affect other women positively in their lives.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Tell me any obstacles or challenges that you might have faced for work, whether it be, you know, I know you do modeling and you do poetry and you're a songstress, obviously. Are there any challenges that might have arisen in your past or that you're going through now that you're able to overcome, or how did you overcome these challenges?
Um, yeah, I'd probably say for me, juggling it all. So I'm a homeschooling mum as well.
Oh,
So let's
wow.
just throw that in the mix. Um, yeah, so I feel like it can be quite difficult to maneuver. I'm quite ambitious, and I'm quite determined. So I'll always have a plan A, B, and C, and find a way that I can best juggle things, to make it work for me, and obviously for my little one as well. But I have found that difficult at times. But I've had, you know, support from all different avenues, and we just cut and gone through, you know, the best we can. I feel like in this jungle, on this journey, you have to have, like, your meditation needs to be so strong. Um, so I'm grateful that regardless of everything that I've been through, that I'm still able to maintain that. Obviously, some days you have to pick yourself up and you got to push yourself a little bit harder some days, but I have found it very difficult being a mum, a black single female in the industry, and pushing through obstacles. You know, women get a lot of fights sometimes, and sometimes we get put in strange situations where, you know, you don't want to put out your song because you don't want to put up anyway, you know what I mean? So there's been many, many obstacles, sis, but I think we talk about bloodline again, you know, that warrior spirit, and you just have to keep pushing through, and then it all works out in the end. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of women that speak of, you know, challenges and maybe things that have happened to them, dealing with producers or other things,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just a matter of a distribution or like some type of contract things that might come up or whatnot, and how you can, you know, find your way through that. So it's a complex industry, and that's why it's more important than ever to have a team or to have advisors or to have mentors that you can look up to, or to look forward in the direction that, you know, other artists are going. And yeah, your representation for the empresses out there that are coming up that want to do reggae music or want to do poetry or want to do modeling, or, you know, I definitely will be sharing your socials so that people can get in touch with you and contact you, and you know, as well
Yeah.
as support stream
So
and your music as well.
that's
I'd
fun.
love to
Mhm.
talk about Conscious Kings. Big track there.
Okay.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about relationships, and, you know, I think about the stars and where the stars are. I know a lot of people are going through relationships right now, relationship issues or problems, or rediscovering you know, things from the past. There's an undertone of relationships and love in the air coming into March and going into April because of the alignment of the planets. I won't get into that, but
I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
yeah,
I resonate with what you're
there's a lot
saying.
going on in
Yeah,
the
you're
sky
right.
right now, as above, so below, right?
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
As above, so below, I like to say. But tell me about the track Conscious Kings, concept, production, how that came to be.
For me, I'll probably start by saying that I believe in manifestation. So again, going back to what we do say, put out there, you know, we set it out there in order to receive, sometimes consciously and unconsciously. But I didn't have a king when I wrote that, but the concept, yeah, I was inspired by the concept after seeing just beautiful black images. And I used to buy Ethiopian food from this guy in Shepherd's Bush, and he used to do the cabbage nice and the lentil peas, and
Yes.
I was like, this food is too good. And it was a sunny day. I remember seeing a lot of beautiful black couples, and the concept for the song actually came from just that vibration. Then I was blessed to work with the Royal Sounds, who did an amazing production on that. So they actually built the music around the song. So funny enough, yeah, that was a little bit of a different creative process. But yeah, that's probably my most popular track.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. I love that it was a guy that you met and you're inspired, and you kind of put the song out there as a little bit of a spell, so to speak. As
exactly.
back to what we were saying earlier, I was like, okay, let me play this track over and over and over again. Maybe I'll find myself a conscious king. You know, maybe I'll attract that into my life. Who knows?
Oh yeah, not maybe, you will, sis.
Right, exactly. So what does a conscious king look like, act like to you? Clearly he makes
Ooh.
good food, because food is the way of
Yes,
my heart, for
he
sure.
makes good food. Sis, they always want to put well, not everybody, but a lot of the time, the women, we get placed in the kitchen. That's fine because I can cook as well. Yeah, my food's good. But sometimes it's nice to have the king in the kitchen cooking for the queen. So yeah, he's got to be able to cook. For me personally, nice ITEL food, plant-based living. But yeah, clean character, good liberty, understand your role and be able to lead, um, and embrace your queen. Don't just call her that, but treat her in a way that embodies that. And know thyself, because I think, how can you want to get to know me? The question is, do you know yourself? So that's what I'm probably saying.
That's
Divine,
a big one.
cultural. Since I could go on and on.
It's a long list, but those are some big, big, big drops that you just dropped there, as far as a conscious king. And yes, what do you think on the reverse? What qualifies a conscious queen or an empress? What does that look like, or what does that act like, in your opinion?
Okay. Ooh, I'd say the same qualities, but obviously embodying her feminine essence. But the same, really, divine characteristics, knowing yourself, understanding your role as a woman, knowing how to move in your essence and your magic, and understanding who you are intrinsically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what I'm
Big up all the conscious
saying.
kings and queens out there who are tuned in
Yeah, big
and who are
them up.
taking
They're
in
all commenting and listening. Yeah.
all the great listeners. I see some questions coming in from the audience, so I'm going to take those now. And yes, I don't want to ignore the people here. Let's see. We have a question from Joy that says, Imani means belief, faith. Was Imani your birth name, or did you adapt it?
Blessings. Is it Joy? Yeah. She's right. Imani means faith. Imani is actually my birth name. So a lot of people think or assume that, it's like a stage name. That is actually my true essence. It's who I am. That's what I was named. It's Swahili. Yeah,
It's a
that's
beautiful
me.
name.
That's my name.
It's nice that you didn't have to change it up to something fancy. You
Yeah,
already got something fancy, you know. Well,
and you
that's
gotta have faith.
yeah, I love that.
Good question.
Big up Empress and I see you in the chat there commenting. Thank you everybody that's tuned in.
Yeah.
I see the comments. And we do have a couple more questions. Thank you for that question, Joy. All right. And we have a question from Twitter. I typically don't take the questions from Twitter, but I will take one today.
Okay.
I always tell my Twitter people, come join us on Instagram, but okay.
Right.
Joey59 is asking, what is the significance of the head wrap?
Okay. For me, I think it's just been a part of my personal style. So my daddy, who I said grew up Rasta, used to wrap his hair, and I was saying to him, "Can you teach me how to do a wrap?" And he told me to find my own style. But aside from that, I do like this question because I've always got my hair, and I get a lot of people that assume that I do have locks and that I am Rasta. I don't have locks. I'm not Rasta, but I align with the liberty. But I feel like your crown, we talk about the crown chakra, but I feel like the crown, in a way, it's like honoring and protecting the crown, as well as it being a cultural aesthetic. Women and men were wrapping their hair long before sort of the locks, and it's part of our cultural style in general. For me, it's sort of like a spiritual thing as well, and just part of my sort of signature style. So that's what I'd probably say about that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, thank you, Joy, for the question. Come over and join us on Instagram. Join the family. And we have a few more questions here. Some people are trying to reach me. All right, so let's see some of the other questions from the audience. Empress Anaya, big up yourself. When
That's
is
a
your
nice one.
next single releasing, and are you a Rastafarian faith? Well, she kind of answered that, but when is your next single?
Oh, sorry. She said, the question was, when is my next single?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't reveal any dates as yet, but it's on the way soon, shortly. Before summer.
Very soon, shortly. You gotta keep the vibes. Keep it locked on Empress Imani's page for all the dates dropping soon. And are you of the Rastafarian faith? You kind of went into that earlier, but she did just join us.
Yeah, I've got braids in at the moment, but so the answer to that question, I already answered that question, but it's definitely a way of life that I align with because I've been around those principles. It feels at home, but I'm just me. I'm highly spiritual, and I just connect to a lot of the ways of life and the vibration and the energy that Rastafari brings. They speak to natural living, oppression, loving the skin that you're in, many different things like that. But for me, just going back to the rap, it's almost like when I feel like I want to sort of conserve my energy or keep my crown chakra sacred. It's just something that I've done. Yeah, just like I said, from my dad really, and just understanding that. And also, I think I just want to add a little element of going back to sort of slavery days and our ancestors who used to be told to wrap their hair as a way to cover the afro because they saw it as something distasteful. I love the way that we as a people can turn something negative into something positive. So then the African women started to express in this exuberance with the patterns and the gelles and the head wraps. So again, I feel like that cultural aspect is amazing as well. The way we allowed that to evolve and embraced it and changed it into something beautiful. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's so true. It's about, creating our own story, her story rather than his
Yeah.
story.
As well, it makes me feel like a queen.
Yeah, and you look like a queen too.
some more time. I'll wrap it up. We rap stars around here, so it just is what it is, you know.
I'm gonna try to wrap mine now. You know, I'm gonna get a
Oh
head
yes,
wrap for myself.
yes, you look good. Yeah, wrap it up. You look amazing. Well, you look amazing anyway, but
Oh,
accentuate your features.
I see a lot of questions coming in through the comments section, but it's hard to read those because the comments go fast. So
Oh, these
there is
guys
a
are,
little
yeah,
question box
they're
on the
really
radio,
versatile
so
and
yeah.
adaptable. They're coming with some good comments. Yes, Empress, which is right. Yeah, they are going fast. Yeah.
They're going fast. We have a question from Steve. Do you know from experience of life traumas that bring you more creativity? So have your life traumas brought you more creativity in your craft? I think that's the question.
Ooh, yeah, I would say that. But you know what I will say? I think that's actually expressed a little bit more in my poetry. So my poetry and my music are very different. So I'll go on a whole flow and a tangent, and it's deep, it's mystical. It half of the time you have to listen twice to catch what it is that I'm talking about. So in my poetry, I'd say that yeah, it's definitely shown and expressed in that way. There's little elements in the music as well, but I'd probably say more on the poetic scale. It comes out. Yeah, that was a
Where
good
can people
question.
find your poetry? Is there anywhere online that we can take it in, or is that something you typically perform live?
Yeah, I love spoken word, so I normally perform live and do spoken word. I haven't done it in a little while, so I'm going to be delving back into that world, which was a world that I always loved. I'm published in a book called Lyrically Justified with a lot of other local Leeds poets. That was put together by Sean Clark. Big up Sean, because I'm a family that. But yeah, so there's two pieces in there from myself, and then just stay tuned really for yeah, new material in regards to the poetry, and maybe even intertwining the music as well.
Yes, I love that. I can't wait to hear some of your poetry as well. Let me
Thank
see if
you.
there's any other questions before I let you go. Someone is asking about Titi Man Levi. Titi Man is asking,
Hey.
um, is there going to be a new video clip? Maybe that means music video, maybe? What about Conscious Kings? Is there going to be a video coming out for that?
Oh, oh, okay. People ask me this question, but to me, sometimes I feel like because it's been out for so long and had that traction, I feel like would that be a good idea creatively? So I've always sort of questioned that. So I guess I'd have to leave that to like a public vote or something. I don't know, but it would be a good idea, I guess. But then I'd have to find the right conscious king for the video. I have to do some auditions, who knows? But
Auditions will be fun. Look at that. I'll come to
yeah,
your
I might have to
audition. How about
get
that?
all, Simon Cowell on them.
I'll be the casting director by
You
your
can help me
side
say,
here.
can you cook the cabbage? No, the lentil peas not cooked right, and we're gonna choose. Yeah, that would be good. But that's a good question. Maybe, who knows?
I like that question. Thank you, Tima Levi.
And big up to yeah, big up to him as well. All the way in Spain, I believe.
Spain. Big up Spain. I
Yeah,
would love to go there.
yeah,
There's a
big
lot
up
of
his
reggae
crew in
festivals
Spain in
happening.
Malaga. Yeah, them guys are amazing. I've played with that brother. He's lovely, and I hope to go back soon. We did some stuff over there. We did a few little gigs, and they came over to the UK and supported me on some festivals here. So he's great. So yeah, blessings to you and the fam. Thank you for tuning in.
Are there any other shout outs that you want to do before I let you go? Anybody that you want to, shout out and big up on your end?
Yeah, big up my daughter one time, two times, three times.
Big up,
She's
big
my
up the
biggest
youngers.
inspiration. Big up to everybody that's tuned in, everyone that's listening. I get some beautiful messages again from like people that I don't even know, and I mean like not like one little sentence, like proper two paragraph, and and they're saying like that they're inspired by my journey and keep doing your thing. And I really appreciate that because it comes out of the blue. You don't expect it. And for someone to take the time out to do that, it's really encouraging sometimes when you really, in the moment when you need it. So big up to, you know, all those people that send those beautiful positive messages, everyone that's commenting tonight. Big up to yourself for having me. I was like, Canada? I was like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So it's nice to see that the music's spreading across the pond or whatever. Big up to Reggae to the World as part of my team. Big up to the Royal Sounds because they did the production on a lot of my tracks. Oh gosh. Big up to everybody. Blessings and love always. Yeah.
I also want to ask you a couple more questions before I let you go. I saw some questions in the comments, but guys, you got to put the question in the little question box down on the right-hand side for me to be able to read all those questions. I try to get to all the questions, you know, but sometimes the time doesn't permit. But I do want to ask you a couple more that I have written down here. Tell me something most people don't know about you or would never guess. Is there anything specific about your personality or your hobbies or, you know, anything that you can share that people wouldn't typically think about you?
Oh, that's such a good question, right? I need to think that people wouldn't typically guess. I've got a tattoo. That's a bit boring. But yeah, I've got a tattoo, maybe. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know
Yeah,
what else.
I wouldn't guess that.
Okay.
But is it like somewhere where nobody can see?
Well, it's on my back.
Okay.
I got Africa on my back.
Oh, Mama Africa. Big up.
Yeah, so I don't know. People might not guess that.
I love that. Big up Mama Africa, you know.
Always,
Birthplace
forever.
of humanity. Yes, yes. Thank you, Empress Imani. I really enjoyed reasoning with you, and obviously I love your music. I'm going to be playing some Empress Imani tracks here on for the radio listeners that are still tuned in. Once the Instagram, you know, comes to a close, we still got the radio live 24/7. So I'll be playing your music for those listeners that are tuned in on the radio. They can take in some of your tracks back to back to back here on RootsReggaeHub.com.
Amazing.
So they can get a full idea, you know, because I can't put the music in full on Instagram. So following our reasoning.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, following our reasoning, your tracks will be playing for the radio listeners. So if you're on the Instagram Live, you want to hear some Empress Imani music, you know, you can switch it over to RootsReggaeHub.com, TuneIn app, Google, Alexa, just ask, you know, Google to play Roots Reggae Hub, and you'll be hearing Empress Imani following this interview, which is a treat, I'll tell you that. Thank you, Empress.
Thank you for having me, Stace. I really appreciate it. Blessings to you.
Please send me all your new music coming out. I know you said you have things in the works.
Definitely. Say no more. Yes. Top of the list.
Posted. All right.
Definitely. And pick up your mom for me, yeah?
Yes, I will. Bless up everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today.
No,
and I will be back later at 8 p.m. as well. Thank you, Empress.
You're welcome. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Blessed love, everybody. Bye.
Bye.